Energy powers our world. Yet about a third of the Earth's population still doesn't have access to clean energy for cooking. Electricity is a form of energy that flows affordably through wealthy and powerful nations, easily powering their homes and businesses. But nearly 800 million people living today have no electricity at all. In Africa, there are more people living without electricity than anywhere else in the world. Despite its breathtaking natural beauty and resource-rich landscape, no place has greater energy needs than in the middle regions of the mighty continent. This is Niyah. She lives in a small village in the Congo region of Central Africa. And while she is very similar to kids who live in America, her life is very different. She is part of a loving family, enjoys playing soccer with friends, and has quite a sweet tooth. But like 2/3 of the people who live in sub-Saharan Africa, Niyah has no access to electricity, and this makes life very difficult. Without electricity, fires are needed to do necessary things like boil water, cook food, and stay warm. Niyah's mornings are spent with her brothers, collecting the family's daily supply of water and wood. And since these tasks require hours of walking to cover many miles, there is little time for fun and games. In the afternoons, the kids help their mom with chores around the house, or work with their dad on the family's small peanut farm. Niyah's parents would love for their children to go to school, but without access to electrical power, the family's survival depends on the work that the kids do. This is the same for all the families in and around the village, so there is no school nearby at all. Those fortunate enough to live near trees can burn wood for their fires. But a growing need for energy is causing Central Africa's forests to shrink. In return, places like Virunga National Park, home of the biggest primates in the world, the eastern mountain gorillas, are in increasing danger. Luckily, the wood Niyah and her brothers collect each morning isn't harming the natural habitat of any gorillas. But unfortunately, it is causing harm to their bodies. Central Africa's humid climate makes it hard to start and maintain fires outside. So to get the energy they need, families like Niyah's must make fires inside. And this causes terrible damage to their health. According to the World Health Organization, burning an open fire inside the home is like burning 400 cigarettes an hour. And it is estimated that 439,000 Africans die each year due to health complications from this practice. Despite not having access to a school, education is very important to Niyah's parents. And thanks to evening lessons, they've taught her to be an excellent reader. Niyah's favorite books are about faraway places, and she dreams of someday wearing fancy work clothes and being a businesswoman in a big city. However, because she doesn't have the ability to go to school and learn subjects like math and science, Niyah knows it will be very difficult for her dream to ever come true. Once a year, Niyah travels to visit her cousin Zuri, who lives in the city. These visits are Niyah's favorite time of year, because not only does she love playing games with her cousin, but Zuri's house has electrical power. With electricity, cookies can bake in the oven, while special Congolese donuts called mikate are fried on the stovetop. At Zuri's house, not only is Niyah's sweet tooth pleased, but there's no coughing from smoke either. Some years, Zuri's family even has enough money to join the electrical grid, so things like lights and the oven can be turned on with the simple flip of a switch. However, most years they must rely only on diesel-powered generators for their electricity, due to the high costs of residential energy across Central Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa has more poverty than anywhere on Earth, and Niyah and Zuri's region is its poorest. The average city worker makes $600 a year, and since it takes $300 to get connected to the energy grid, and another $60 just to power a refrigerator, many people turn to the less expensive generators for their electricity needs. In cities across Africa, the loud and constant roar from these machines covers the sounds of chirping birds and makes having conversations difficult. But the noise they create is only part of the problem. The diesel fuel they burn causes dirty clouds to form and hover over the cities. and this pollution is almost as harmful as the in-home wood fires from Niyah's village. Sub-Saharan Africa, and especially the Congo region, has many problems. And without access to reliable and affordable energy, they will continue. One person trying to solve Africa's energy problem is another cousin of Niyah's, named Joseph. He is Zuri's older brother and is a college student. Joseph studies environmental engineering at a university and wants to improve his homeland's energy situation. Joseph knows that his little cousin Niyah is not free to follow her dreams because too much of her time must be spent collecting wood for fires. Fires that cook her food, but also hurt her lungs. He also knows that energy can be created in many ways. And in his classes, he learns about all the different types of power that could bring electricity to the parts of Africa that need it most. Energy can be created by the burning of fossil fuels, like coal and natural gas. It can come from nuclear or hydroelectric power plants. And it can even be generated by windmills or solar panels. Like so many people, Joseph used to believe that wind and solar energy was the obvious answer. But then he learned how tons of materials need to be mined from the earth to create them, how their batteries break down and become hazardous waste, how their farms disrupt huge amounts of natural habitat, how their components cannot be recycled after wearing out, and how risky it is to rely on things like wind or sunlight, which are not constant. Each power source has strengths and weaknesses, but in his studies, Joseph was surprised to find that nuclear is by far the cleanest, cheapest, and safest method of creating energy. Although many people think that nuclear power is dangerous, modern technology has actually made it very safe. It creates almost no pollution. It can generate power 24 hours a day. It requires only a small quantity of uranium to operate, and the resulting waste is tiny compared to the vast amount of energy produced. Joseph knows that there is no perfect solution, but he is determined to excel in his studies, and when he graduates, his goal is to help build and work in the nuclear power plant that finally brings electricity to his cousin's village and opens up a world of new possibilities for her. Niyah is a wonderful girl. She is loving, smart, and fun. Her future is full of promise, but with access to energy, that future will be even brighter.